Hello everyone, my name is Anaisa Franco. I'm here to present the works I created during the residence in HANGAR, long-term residence, July 2020 to April 2023. First of all, I'd like to thank HANGAR and the team to help me creating the project and hosting me during these years. The project I developed in HANGAR residence was Trinity Loop, which was a permanent public art in Ireland in 2020. Entanglement, which was a temporary public art for Sydney Festival La Vivid, Neuronaction, which was a commission from HANGAR, thanks a lot HANGAR, and the collection Beep, which is a new media art collection in Spain. And then I developed a museum solo show in Burgos called Reshaping Ideas, Connecting Realities, that inside there was some artworks that I'm going to show. Infinite Rainbow is a temporary public art in Zurich for a light festival. And now I have two projects under development. It's Vibrant Meridian, it's a permanent public art in New York State, and Embrace Loop, permanent public art in Dublin. Trinity Loop, I'm gonna explain to you in details this project. It was a kind of a playground mixed with public art developed to the School of Fadrai. It's a small town 1 hour from Dublin. Here you can see some technical drawings of the project. It has a circumference of 9 meters, 1.7 meters high. It's composed by 3 equal arches that they are completely unique, and they are rotated 120 degrees. Here you can see the arches and the rotation and the concrete foundation. More technical drawings. We had the 3 concrete mounds and a rubber mulch floor. In order to get a bespoke design that was good and approved by the structural engineer, we had to do 3 structural tests. This node had to stand 600 kilos minimum. So this first node was only able to stand 430 kilos or something like that, so it broke. We couldn't use this style of node. And then the same happened with the second one. The material was also aluminum, and then we changed it to pure steel. This one was the last node and good work that we could use in the work. This was 600 kilos. This is the studio view during the production of this work. I first did a maquette, and then I 3D printed the nodes, and with the 3D prints and cut the tubes in laser. The model to test the production of 118 3D printed parts, which was multiplied by 356 steel nodes. In this video you can see the production process of the work. The nodes were sand casted in a factory close to Barcelona. The tubes were powder coated. This was the assembly. The assembly took 1 week. The logistics of the work comprised by 3 boxes. Each of them was 600 kilos. Here you can see the kids playing with the work. The entanglement, it was created to Light Festival in Sydney, but with the pandemic it ended up never going there. So I used this work presented in the museum show that I'm gonna explain soon. So this work, it's kind of similar. It has 200 nodes each of these legs, and they were 2 different legs. And I used acrylic tubes with lights inside and programming. So here you can see the development process in the studio. The bases were done with steel. Well, this work represents like the DNA. Neuron action. Neuron action, it's a work that you can interact with your thoughts, with your brain. So first you had to calibrate your brain inside the computer using a sensor called NextMind. So people were wearing the sensor and spending 45 seconds to calibrate it inside the computer, and then you look to these neurotags that it's like a QR code for the brain, and you could interact with those neurotags just by looking to them. And then the next user also needs to wear the NextMind and calibrate it before using the work. Here are the credits of the work. We had a very good sound design and software engineer, and it was presented at Ars Electronica Festival in Barcelona Garden. Here you can see the process of the creation of the work in HANGAR. So we did this 3D printed. The work was composed by 250 3D printed nodes and 200 meters of white tubes with I think was 200 meters of LEDs also. That was all put it inside the tubes. So this is the fabrication of the neurotags. The neurotags was getting the information of the computer and projecting into these objects. It was blinking and it was the same as looking to the monitor, but in a physical way. It was also like a very big team to work in the project. Everybody was very professional, and we developed the work super nice in HANGAR. So thanks again, HANGAR, for the commission of the project. And then I'm talking about now the solo museum show called Reshaping Ideas, Connecting Realities. This exhibition is all about biometric data of the body and transforming it in connecting to other realities. I'm gonna show it, explain when the video comes. So that's the museum view. We had here iriscope and sufflexion and the entanglements. So the exhibition started with face recognition software, which was capturing the faces of the 500 people that enter in the museum, and they were interacting with the work. The software they capture the faces, scan and print in this wall, and then you have one more face of the visitor, and all the faces are like floating around this wall of the museum. This work name is Self-Flexion. Then we go to experience the scanning of the iris with the iriscope. This is a 3D printed kind of telescope that was an extrusion of the iris, and with the camera, so you look to the wall and you see your eyes get scanned, your iris gets scanned, and it transforms into galaxies and nebula. Then we have the experience with the fingerprint. I had this work called Expanded ID, and this was an interface that was also printed that changed you could print your own face by temperature in this material, which was sensitive of the temperature, and at the same time you place your finger in the fingerprint sensor and it gets your fingerprint and transforms into this topographic generative animation. She's fallen for the work called mutations, which are representations of the mutations of the COVID. So you had alpha, beta, and another, the last mutation. This material was sensitive by the light, which means that it's something that it's contaminated or infection and things like that. So yeah, this work it's about like a molecular level of experimentation. Then you finally meet the entanglement works, that it's a representation of the DNA, which is the code of life. So this exhibition entire close with the DNA that shows the animation of the code of life. So it's all about the biometric data, starting from the face to the iris and the fingerprint and the DNA. And then, yeah, this is an aesthetic animation of the creation of the iriscope that I told you it was an extrusion of the iris. This is a work called Infinite Rainbow. I did it for a light festival in Zurich this December this year. It's a 6-meter wide artwork that we were inserted inside the water for 4 days. It was a collaboration with Michel Gallagher. The work is also comprised by PVC tubes and 3D printed nodes and LED bars. Programmed to use a Resolute in a computer. The work was developed in HANGAR in the studio, and this, you can see the beauty of the structure. Then we did the base, the nodes, the PVC tubes, the LED bars. This vibrant meridian is under development to be installed in a roundabout in New York State. It will be 7 meters tall, made out of sticks of steel sticks painted in a gradient color. The idea of this work is to vibrate when the cars will drive around this roundabout. The idea is to create this illusion by putting complementary colors and just by the movement of the generated by the speed of the car. The embrace loop, it's also under development. It will be a memorial of HIV and AIDS to be constructed in Dublin at the Phoenix Park. It represents as the ribbon of the symbol of the HIV, and it transforms it in a public artwork that is also for city and that creates this community around. Okay guys, so thank you for listening to me, and I'm sorry I cannot be present at HANGAR this day, but I'll be online if you guys wanna ask me something and just talk a bit. Thank you Kai, thank you Pedro, thank you Sergi and Mark for hosting this event, and yeah, so I hope you like it.